We're continuing our visit at Otter Box in Fort Collins, Colorado. These are the folks that make cases for smartphones, electronics. They actually started off making cases that could be taken underwater for like 100 feet.
Yeah, our waterproof box line was able to withstand pressure down to 100 feet, still maintaining full waterproof capabilities, and also we're crush proof.
Okay, so how long has the company been in business?
We've been around since 1998. As you mentioned, Kurt Richardson, the founder, started out by making that line of waterproof dry boxes for outdoor enthusiasts, so kayakers, boaters, people who are out in wet and muddy conditions. If you wanted to throw your keys and a wallet and a phone or a camera in it, that was perfect for that. You could take it down underwater, so if you're out snorkeling or something like that, you could keep your possessions with you.
So how has the company evolved as far as product line?
So it started out with those waterproof boxes, and then as the PDA market took off, OtterBox began to come up with solutions that allowed you to not only interact with a device through the case, but also keep it from damage during lousy weather like rainstorms or if you're out in those muddy conditions. And then as the smartphone market took off, we adapted yet again to pare down the size of those cases and make them all very device specific and customized, so everything is fully functional through the case. We don't focus so much on the water protection anymore. Our smartphone cases are more along the lines of drop and shock protection, but that's the type of product that you see today.
And obviously I interviewed Adam, one of your engineers, about what you really protect against. And is shock and drop really the primary issue for consumers?
It is, and if you think about how much information that you've got stored on a smartphone or on a tablet, when you're taking it out with you on a day-to-day basis, if you drop it stepping out of a car or as you're walking downtown, your bag bumps up against something, you're running a $600 or $700 device up against some pretty tough conditions, and that's what our protective cases are all about, is defending against those sorts of things.
Where are you at in the industry as far as market share?
I don't have numbers for you off the top of my head. We are a privately owned company, so a lot of that stuff does stay internal,
right,
obviously. But we really were the pioneers as far as rugged protection goes.
How many countries are you in?
We have offices in the United States, Ireland, and now over in Hong Kong as well.
And are you selling to carriers other than in those three countries?
We go through a distributor model, so anywhere that our distributors are out selling the cases to, we are a global company and we're more than happy to expand it into any new market that might be emerging, any new area that opens up to us.
What's your most popular case?
Our Defender series would be our most popular line, so it's actually our flagship smartphone product. It comes with, in most cases, a built-in screen protector, which is the film that you see here. It doesn't inhibit touchscreen sensitivity at all. And then next is a two-piece polycarbonate shell that wraps around front and back of the device. It's really the hard skeleton, if you will, that keeps the device safe. And on top of that is a silicone skin that goes over the top, provides some additional grip, but also some shock absorption qualities as well.
So you have 4 product lines.
We do, and the Defender series, as I mentioned, is our most rugged, our flagship product. And then from there, in descending order of protection, our newest case is the Reflex series. It's a 2-piece snap-apart case that's very thin, but has 2 different materials built into it, a polycarbonate and a rubber. So it's got some shock absorption, but also that hard shell feel that slides in and out of a pocket nicely. The cool thing about this case is that its design was actually inspired by the crumple zone of a car. So if you can, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but as I push in on the corners here, you can actually see the case flexing. There are air cores, what we call reflex zones, built into the case that allow the case to flex in on impact without pushing up against the device itself. And when it springs back, it dissipates shock evenly throughout the frame of the case, much like the crumple zone of a car is intended to do.
So is anybody else in the industry doing that?
Nobody that I'm aware of.
Do you have patents?
We do.
So what's the consumer buying most of, and for what device?
Well, the Defender series is definitely our best seller, but I think a couple of the options that are really catching up are the Reflex series, which I just showed you, and on top of that, the Commuter series, which is another very pocket-friendly option. Much like the Defender series, it consists of a silicone and a polycarbonate, but almost in a reverse design from the Defender series. So this has a silicone first and a polycarbonate shell around the outside of that. coverage to the different access points, like the charging, so that when you're not using them, you don't have to worry about getting dust and dirt inside of there, but everything remains fully functional. And for the consumer that likes to just throw their phone in their pocket, the Commuter Series has become a very, very popular option.
How much lead time do you have on phones, on smartphones? You get them from the carrier or from the manufacturer way ahead of release?
Well, it really all depends on the relationship that we have with the partner. That all varies, and I think that's more of a sales-oriented relationship than it is for someone like myself. But it all does depend on what type of relationship we have working with them and how long-standing that's been.
So obviously the goal is to have cases the day the product hits the market. Mm-hmm. Is that pretty common, or is there usually a lag?
You know, we are working on our time to market. We aren't perfect with it yet, but we are showing some pretty good improvement as far as getting our cases out relatively close to the amount or to the time that the smartphone or the tablet comes out, and that's just an evolving process for it.
How do you select which phones?
We do have an internal business intelligence and research and development teams, so they will go through their processes looking at forecasts for sales and things of that nature.
And obviously the top forecasts would get your attention.
Exactly, yep.
And you do everything in-house, as opposed to how you used to do business, so you can do all your molding, production, layout, product development, everything's here in Fort Collins.
Yeah, we do try to keep as much as possible here, so we focus on doing all of our development, all of our research, everything right here out of the Fort Collins offices. And for us, that's great because we can collaborate across teams to find out what's working, what's not, and come out with the next best solution.
Are you found at Best Buy, Office Max,
We are
Staples?
found at stores like Best Buy and Radio Shack. It all depends on what the distributor that sells to those retailers carries as far as the selection goes. Our biggest selection as far as colors and all the different devices covered is always available on our website, but there certainly are more big box stores now and carriers that are picking up a lot more options.
And what's the average price of your cases?
It ranges. So the Defender series for a smartphone typically retails for $49.95. The Reflex series typically retails for $44.95. Commuter series $34.95, and Impact series $19.95. So it all varies on the level of protection that goes into it. And then with our tablet and e-reader cases, you'll see ranges from $64.95 up to $89.95, depending on the device and the case series that we're offering for it.
You're doing obviously iPads, the Motorola Zoom. Are you doing the BlackBerry Playbook yet?
We are. We do have a Defender series option for it with a built-in screen protector, a fold-out stand that's integrated into a removable screen cover.
I see. Any other tablets?
We are. So you mentioned the Zoom earlier, and I can just show you a Defender series option for that right now. And first of all, it's very much like the smartphone case in that it comes with a polycarbonate shell that goes up against the device first, and then a silicone over the top of that. The cool thing about it is you can see the cutout on the edges here is that we do have docking access available to it, and a removable screen cover that can be thrown over the front for when you're traveling or over the back when you're using it. And on top of that, it will actually fold out into a standing type position so you can lay things at a nice low angle for typing, and also flip it right side up for a media viewing type angle.
So Jordan, for the future, where do you see your company going?
I think the sky's the limit for us, honestly. It's a very adaptive company that takes on one challenge and finds a brand new solution for it. That's one of our strongest qualities. Leadership here is great. The executive team is very, very visible to us, and they share the vision with us. So I think as long as new technologies keep coming out and we can innovate to stay on track with that, we'll keep growing.
Well, you got a great business because your product life cycle is really short.
Yeah.
Because everybody goes through smartphones every year.
And there are a good percentage of people that in the first year are damaging their devices. So, without that out-of-box protection, you're looking at some pretty quick turnover in devices. And once they see the value in that, then you see the repeat customers.
And what's your warranty?
We have a 1-year warranty on our products, but basically what that does is if something ever is wrong with the case, be it a defect when you get it or if you break it somewhere down the line, if we've got it in stock, our customer service is fantastic about just working with you to get things taken care of and get you a replacement for it.
Yeah, because the cases aren't that expensive to begin with.
Right.
So if the consumer carries away one thing from this interview, what should it be as far as who they buy cases from?
Well, I think the biggest things to look for are whether or not the case is going to offer you full functionality. OtterBox cases all do that. We test to make sure that there isn't a sensor that's missed, a microphone that's covered up, anything like that. And then on top of it, just the quality and the experience that you get along with the purchase. At OtterBox, we don't want you just to buy a case and be done with it and that's it. We want you to interact with us through our different outlets, at events, social media, everything like that. And we really want it to be a purchase-to-purchase experience so that in that meantime, you're growing as a member of the OtterBox family.
And do you OEM for any clients?
We don't. On our own end, no, we don't manufacture anything like that.
You don't. So everything that's in the field has got your name on it.
If it's made by OtterBox, it's a genuine OtterBox product, just with the OtterBox name.
Cool. Jordan, thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you.